Two of the current top 5 in the Modified Mini Bike Championship are missing from round number 5. An opportunity for their rivals to make ground. Dimitri Kos currently leads it by 7 points over Freddie Trott Sr. Frank Casoli and Freddie Trott Jr. missing from this 5th round. Jez Scott and Joe Banks therefore in the perfect position to make up ground on both of them and challenge for a place on this 2019 championship podium. Seeding order coming into this grand final. Winner takes all, remember, in 2019. Dimitri Kos, 2 wins out of 3 races. Just 3 points dropped to an opponent, was first seed. He's gone for the pole. Freddie Trott Sr. with 2nd starting position choice, thanks to a 2nd place in round number 2 and 2 third places. 3rd position choice went to Joe Banks. He DNF'd in his 2nd ride, but won his 1st, made up enough points in round number 3 to qualify on the front row. He's gone for gate number 3, and completing the lineup off the outside of that front row is Chris Bailey, consistent through the heats to squeeze onto the outside of that front row. Kaylee Hankins attempted there to line up off the front row, but she's got 5th seeding position, so she will line up off row number 2 alongside Jeremy Skip, Jez Scott and Alex Bauer. In principle, we've seen that the top 3 in this category have been far and away superior to the rest of the group. Will they be our podium trio then, and in what order? It's Joe Banks who's made the start off gate number 3, but in the drag race down to the 1st turn, it's Freddie Trott Sr. who picks it up, and Trott Sr., who's yet to win a race here at round number 5, the winner at round 4, is pulling away from them coming off turn number 2. On the inside, the shortest route coming off that 2nd bend, Dimitri Kos picks up 2nd place, with Joe Banks now off in hot pursuit. Chris Bailey bundling down the inside of Banks though. Kos getting out of shape on turn number 3, and the pair have come through. Kos will now have the cutback coming off turn 4. They're going to be 3 abreast as they head back into turn number 1 for the 2nd time, and it's Dimitri Kos who comes through up the inside for 2nd place. Joe Banks now comes around the outside of Chris Bailey, who was looking down at his machine there, perhaps suffering from mechanical troubles as he slips away from the top 3. But now we've got the battle resumed that we were largely expecting coming into this one. Trott Sr., Kos and Banks in the top 3 positions. Not necessarily the order you might have predicted. Kos with wins in each of his last 2 rides, down in 2nd place, and Trott Sr. pulling away from both him and the number 36, Joe Banks. Banks attempting to close it down as they close up for 4th position now. Jeremy Skip looking to the inside line on Chris Bailey. Bailey has enough momentum coming back into turns 1 and 2 once again. Kos gets out of shape, attempting to defend 2nd place. Banks has to go the long way round though, can't quite get there for the moment at least. It's going to be a real long scrap, this one, I suspect, for 2nd position, because Joe Banks seems to have slightly more pace than Kos, who's a little bit wayward, but neither Joe Banks nor Kos can really find the pace that they've shown in the early stages of this meeting, and it's Freddie Trott Sr. who's pulling away. Banks getting hunched over that machine as he attempts to gain ground on Dimitri Kos, still defending that 2nd place. This would be worth 16 championship points to the current series leader, who's yet to win a round in 2019, and that wait looks set to continue because Trott Sr. is pulling well clear, looking to make it a double this weekend, having won at round number 4 ahead of Kos and Banks, and it could be Banks ahead of Kos this time around. He goes all the way around the outside, coming off turn number 4. The pair are going to be side by side down the start straight once again. Kos urging the machine forward. Banks is going to go the long way round once again. That's been his strategy throughout this race. Will he be able to close down Dimitri Kos? It certainly looked like it into turn number 1. He cut across the front of Kos, killed his momentum. It's going to be Trott Sr. who does the double, but it's Joe Banks only just ahead of Dimitri Kos in the drag race down to the line for 2nd position, and 3rd going the way of Kaylee Hankins. So a late recovery for Hankins over Chris Bailey and Jeremy Skip, with Alex Bauer and Jez Scott rounding out your finishers here in round number 5. And after missing out on seeing a grand final at round 4, we see one at round 5, and the results slightly different, but no change to the winner. Freddie Trott Sr. back-to-back victories in this modified mini bike category, ahead of Joe Banks this time, who's completed 3 different results each on the podium in his 3 rounds in 2019. Dimitri Kos keeping consistency to his scoring, still leads the championship, but now by just 1 point over Freddie Trott Sr., who makes up 6 points in that grand final alone. The top 2 have got a bit of a margin over the rest of the pack, but once the dropped round is factored in, Joe Banks will be a contender. Jez Scott slipping away somewhat in round number 5 as he drops to 4th position in the championship behind Joe Banks.